Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of the Kins Vibe podcast, and this is a solo podcast like we do every now and then. And today I wanted to talk about developing your talent in the dark times. And the dark times is just a qualification that I'm going to give it, and we're going to talk about when those dark times are. It's not the hour of the day. It's just those moments when people are not paying attention to you. And as I was thinking about this topic, what I realized was talent is a set of skill that people possess, and sometimes it's natural, but most of the time you have to identify it, polish it, and make it good and make it yours. And you kind of put a little tweaks to it to kind of personalize it. That's what talent is. It could be singing, playing ball, whatever it is. It's just a set of skill that not everybody has. What normally happens when people fail, they're not able to use their talent to the maximum capacity. And what I define failure as far as talent goes is not be able to deliver as expected when the time comes, and that's normally due to not being prepared. So the last time we talked about the hibernation period, and the hibernation period, normally the times where you think you're failing or you're falling or whatever the case might be, and the times that people are not paying a whole lot of attention to you, and that's really the time you want to polish and develop your talent. You definitely want to develop your talent and use it when the time comes. And what happens most of the time is that period where you're developing your talent, people are not paying a whole lot of attention to you. So you have all the time in the world to develop what you think you got and make it your own and make it very different from everybody else. Because when the time comes that you're put in that position, or you put in that platform where you have to perform, you won't be able to use the excuse of not knowing what to do, which is what really happens to most people who fail. So they use the excuse of I wasn't ready, and again, when you go to business, you not being ready is not what it is. So think about a customer that's coming to your store. You own a storefront or a big store, or whatever it is, franchise, and the customer comes to your store looking for a pair of jeans or whatever it is, the kind that they want, and they come in the first time, you don't have it. They come in the second time, you don't have it. They come in the third time, you don't have it. And most of the time, it doesn't even get to the third time. But they come in for three different times looking for the same product, and you don't have it. Guess what? You just lost the customer because you were not prepared. So not being prepared is not the reason to not use your talent. What you definitely want to do is you want to use your off-peak period. And what I mean by off-peak period is for every set of activity, there's times where it's actually booming, and in your booming time, you're supposed to deliver. You're supposed to use your skill, use your talent to deliver to the maximum capacity. That's the peak period. But in the off-peak period is when people don't really pay a whole lot of attention to you, like we said, and that's when people use that time to kind of polish what they got and clean up. It's just like a store that's starting again in the business firm, just like a store that's about to open for the first time in the day. What they're going to do is they're going to come in a little bit early. They're going to clean up, make sure everything is in the right aisle before they open up. The moment where they're cleaning and they're putting everything in right places, they're off peak because people are not looking in that moment. And that's definitely the time that you want to polish. If you want to wait till customers come into your store before you start sorting out your product, you're probably failing already, because the customers are not going to see what's in there. Because the biggest deception we have when it comes to business is our eyes, So when the eye sees something, they not because they necessarily need it, but because the eye saw it and it was appealing to the eyes, they're gonna get it. So when you don't have the product in the store on the aisle, the customer's not gonna be able to see it and even purchase it. Same thing when it comes to talent. When the time comes for you to put your talent in play, and you don't have the talent brewed and nurtured and groomed, ready to go, you almost on the verge of failing. And that's not fatal. Failure is not fatal. It's not the end of it. But again, it's just an opportunity that you couldn't take advantage of. So you definitely want to use your off-peak period to develop your talent and identify what your talent is. We've talked about this in the past. Your talent should be something that you've actually thought about. You don't want to just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I wanna go play football." Yeah, sure, you want to do that, but have you thought about it? Probably not. Okay, you need to go back to the drawing board. Think about what you want to do. Think about the times that you wanna practice and all those things. So you consider people like LeBron James and Steph Curry and all these soccer people and all the people who are true professionals. The times that you see them on TV is not the time that they practice. They practice when people are sleeping and people are not looking. That's when they practice, because that's the off peak period. The off peak period where people are not really watching them. They're not on display at that moment. That's when they practice. That's when they polish their talent. And so they're shooting all these balls and they're shooting all these baskets for so many different times throughout the day, perfecting their talent. So when the time comes for them to deliver on TV, on the game day, they're able to deliver. And that's all because of the off-peak training that they had. Let's apply that to our lives. And the moments that you are not in charge, take a step back, identify what your talent is as far as that goes. Polish that talent, practice over and over and over and over again. So when that time comes for you to assume that position and assume that platform, you'll be able to deliver. And you most of the time, what's probably going to happen is you're going to take people by surprise, because they're not looking. They don't think you're ready to assume it, but you've been practicing in the dark. A lot of successful people wake up in the night and they think about what their next move is going to be. And that's what the off period for them is, so you definitely want to use those time to do that. That's what we want to talk about today. It's very, very important that you identify your talent and you polish it and you get ready for when when you need to employ those talents. Thank you very much for sticking around with us. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can bring you more. Be safe. Take care.